Hello, friends, family, and anybody else willing to listen to this podcast. My name is Nick Dye. I am a graduate from the Oregon State University with a degree in business administration, supply chain management, and international business. In my spare time, I enjoy traveling. I enjoy running, going on hikes. I enjoy exploring my world. I enjoy being the best person that I can possibly be and learning from everything and everyone that I meet. This past year has been difficult to continue this podcast. I've really wanted to focus, ever since I created this podcast, on the people that I meet and the people that I know. I believe it's important to get to know someone and to speak with them in an effective way. You should speak with them in person. Give them direct eye contact. I, of course, since COVID, haven't been able to necessarily be in person and do podcasting in person. So that's what's caused me to put this on hold. But I'm hoping that after this first episode, I can really begin to continue doing the podcast. It really gives me motivation and brings me happiness. And I really enjoy learning more about people, and I enjoy learning more from people. So with that being said, this first podcast that I'm returning to, episode number 13, will be with one of my great friends. His name is Django. He is a firm believer in Sufism and Shamanism, and he, most importantly, he just loves life. I've known him now for a few months. I met him here while I was in Maine, and I'm very happy and excited to be able to share him with all of you. So with that being said, and without further ado, I'd like to introduce you to Django Denne. Django Denne, how's it going?
Cheers. It's going great. How are you, Nicholas Dye?
Pretty good.
Yeah, nice.
Is that how you pronounce your last name?
No, Denne.
Denne.
Denne, yeah, like the restaurant.
Like the restaurant.
E instead of Y, yeah.
Have you ever been to Denny's?
Regrettably.
Regrettably.
No, I like Denny's. They're okay.
Really?
Yeah. It's not like my favorite place, but like, I don't know. It's probably just because they've never given me free food. Even though I'm like, my last name. Like I own this place, you know?
Have you made that joke before?
No, not to anyone from Denny's.
Okay. I'm glad. But interesting. So I wanted to ask you first, how are Monday yoga sessions with Django Denne?
Monday yoga sessions.
What happens at these yoga sessions?
Oh, okay. Yeah, I see what you mean. Well, it's not like yoga so much as like, no, it's more like a breathing meditation class.
Oh, okay.
Where like I take people through like 4 different breathing techniques, each one with like the hopes of like connecting to like a different element. And then while everyone's like basically lying down doing that, I'm like playing the drums live. And
bongos?
It's called djembe.
Djembe?
Yeah, it's like a 1 drum. So like I think bongos are 2. I don't know what the exact classification is.
But it's like that one big one that you had while we were camping.
Yeah. Playing the djembe, and then like the yoga aspect is like 10 minutes of like stretching, I guess.
Stretching.
Yeah. I don't know if you need to be an instructor to say that you can like teach yoga.
Sure.
You know? So like,
but is like the essence the same? Like, are you trying to get into that kind of like, I mean, it's a meditative state. Like, are you trying to get into a state? Like, what is my purpose if I was to go to this thing?
Okay.
To be in a class.
Yeah.
Or to go with you.
Pretty much just to relax. Like that's like at the base level what I'm hoping that people get out of it.
Like it's a stress relief.
Yeah. Like you're basically going for like an hour on a Monday to like listen to me kind of explain what's going on. But if someone like came to a class and like fell asleep within the first 10 minutes, I wouldn't be bothered at all.
Has that happened?
No. Everyone stayed awake.
Fair enough.
That I know of. There are some silent sleepers out there. So who knows?
All right, that's fair.
But yeah.
How many people usually come to a class?
Kind of depends. So like the best turnout I've had is like 8 or 9 different people, which is pretty solid, considering I do like 0 promotional work.
Yeah.
And then
I see you posting on Instagram like every Monday before the class usually starts.
Yeah.
Which is good enough. Word of mouth is usually the best.
It's hard when like none of your followers live in Maine, aside from like 5, but at the same time, I don't know. I don't think people really look at my page to see like what type of like yoga events there are. But yeah, that's like the bare minimum of what I do to promote it. That's pretty much where it maxes out.
How did you get into that?
So probably like 6 or so months ago, maybe closer to like 10, but I got a book on Sufism, which is like basically like an ancient religious belief system. And the book itself talked about like different meditative practices you can use, like the elemental breathing that I like share with people. That's one of those practices. And I figure like the same mentality I have for like PT plays into like how I do this. So I give everyone the tools that like they need to do it themselves, basically. And then like if you vibe with like what I'm talking about or the class itself, then you know like how to do it going forward. But if people aren't like interested, it's like a one-time like show up on a Monday and take a nap type of deal. It's fine by me.
Fair.
Yeah.
So did they teach you I know you went to school for physical therapy. Did they teach you in physical therapy school, like breathing techniques to use in that field? Or not really? It's just you feel like the teachings that you got from that pair well with the breathing techniques that you learned from this book? Or how does that?
I think it's kind of like hard to say because for PT, like the breathing techniques we have are like very like body oriented results. So like there's techniques to like activate the diaphragm, which is like the primary breathing muscle. There's techniques to like clear out phlegm. There's techniques just to strengthen the muscles of the respiratory
just
system. Breathing techniques that you're talking about. Yeah. Like one of them for like if you have to cough, you can like huff, like you're trying to fog up glass. You're like, you do that enough times, and eventually you're gonna cough up some phlegm. Which is a little bit different from the the Sufism practice of it, because that's more so like connecting spiritually into like the elements. So I guess it's more of like a spiritual healing as opposed to like body metaphysical healing.
You're talking about the classes.
Yeah.
It's more of a spiritual healing rather than the body physical.
Yeah. And it's like as spiritual as like you want it to be, which is a nice thing about it, because like if you show up and you don't take away any of like the spiritual practice, basically you're going to be feeling relaxed and well oxygenated, which is going to help you feel relaxed more so. But if like you really buy into the spiritual side of things, it can do a lot in terms of like relaxing yourself, helping to get over like trauma or like things that are weighing heavily on your psyche. Just kind of like self-empowerment type stuff too, which I really enjoy. And like you asked about how I got into it, that was like the main reason. It's like I realized the benefits for myself, and then I was like, I bet other people would like to learn about this. So that's kind of why I started it, I guess, like the class itself.
So you started the class?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I have like, so like the yoga studio I go to in Biddeford, I know that the owner is very like open to like any type of like creative class, anything you want to do. I like ran the idea by him. He was very on board, so
that's really nice.
Yeah, since then I've just been going at it.
Honestly, every time you posted a picture, it was always usually of like, it's a very calming picture
of like the beach or like something because you live in the Orchard. And so I honestly imagine that you were literally just doing this on the beach with people. But no, you have an actual studio.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm tempted to like do it on the beach because I feel like that'd be like what better place to go and relax.
Right? Like, especially like you usually, I don't know why I'm focusing so much on the Instagram posts, but like usually there, I feel like sunset or sunrise photos, I don't know which, but so like I just imagine like I've never even like done it. I've never even talked to you about doing it, but like I just imagine when you're doing it, like that's the vibe, you know. Maybe that's your goal. I don't know, or
yeah. I mean the vibe for sure. I would love like a sunset vibe. We haven't tried it like outside yet, mainly because like, I don't know how to like contact people.
Oh,
but
yeah.
like I mean, I could explain it, but no, I feel like that's definitely like the vibe that I try and go for, and I just pick a random nature photo on my phone every time I'm promoting it.
No, I don't blame you. You should keep doing that.
Yeah,
it's good advertising, honestly. Does this guy promote it for you? Like, how do these people come?
Kinda. So like,
well, good.
You're good. So like if people come into the shop and like they're talking to the two owners and they think they might be interested, to like suggest the different events. There's also like just flyers at like the checkout area of like the store that they have. But I don't really think that like anyone goes out of their way to like explain it.
Sure.
I was kind of bummed out because I went to like another one of those like spiritual healing shops in Kennebunk. It was my first time going to Kennebunk, and it was gorgeous.
It's beautiful. Beautiful area. Like,
I heard the Bushes have a house on somewhere.
Yeah, I've heard that too. I think a lot of people do, and I don't blame them. Like,
but I was bummed out I didn't bring in like any of my flyers to this place because I feel like if you like go into those kinds of stores, odds are you're going to be interested.
Well, for sure.
Yeah.
And so what kind of store is it? Is it like rock crystal spiritual, or would you say it's like specifically mindfulness meditation spiritual store?
I think like both. Like I don't think like, I know this store in Biddeford does both. I think the store in Kennebunk does the same. It's like I don't want to get too like niche with it.
I was going to say, do you think that most people who do mindfulness meditation are also into rocks? Or do you think that, like, does one exist without the other? Is there subgroups of both?
Yeah, absolutely. Like, there's the same way, like, yoga can be, like, just exercise, or, like, yoga can be, like, a spiritual practice. Like, personally, I've never really, like, understood the rock mineral culture aspect of, like, the whole spiritual being. Like, there's things that I don't understand, for sure. But, like, I've never picked up like a piece of quartz and like, ooh, feel the energy. You know what I mean?
You should talk to my sister. She is 100% full in on rocks and like apothecary and like yeah, she's all about that. But
I feel like it's not like that big of a jump. Like if you're into like yoga and like naturalistic like spiritualism, going from that to like incredible rare rock, like it makes sense. But at the same time, like it's like that. I feel like astrology, where people are like, ooh, I'm a Sagittarius, and other people are like, I know everything about you now. Like I feel like there's definitely like benefits to like knowing about the like archetype. But I feel like so much of life is like choices that we make, and it's not really dependent on like where the moon was when you were born. You know?
Interesting.
Yeah.
So you're not necessarily a prescriber to the astrology beliefs, or like, do you believe in it at all? Like, do you think there's any?
I think there's some. I think I'm just like, one, I don't know enough. Like I just don't have enough experience. Two, I like really can't say either way because like it's never been something that I've been like big into. Same with like the rocks and everything. So like there's definitely areas to it that like I subscribe to more so than others. But I'm never gonna like say that you're wrong.
Of course, no, definitely
that assumption.
I wouldn't say it either, and I'm kind of in the same boat as you. I think I just don't know enough, or I haven't dived into that world enough to know. So you said you got a book on Sufism or Sufism?
Sufism.
So what is Sufism?
So Sufism, as far as I understand it, is basically a religious belief that when the universe was created, everything following that contained a little piece of the universe. So like there's a little bit of the universe in like every single living being on this planet. And you can call like, they say God for like the universe. I prefer like the universe because I feel like God has like all these stigmas about
Connotations,
it. Yeah, like the gravity of it, which like for sure like there's gravity when you consider like the universe, but when you consider the fact that like the universe could like be that aloe plant right there, then it puts it into a different perspective than like God. You know what I mean? But basically it's believed to like all these beings and all these like little bits of the universe are connected to each other while also being like separate entities. And for me, it basically like the way that I kind of work it into my own life is that like I'll go out and instead of like being around like trees, I'll be around like family and friends. You know what I mean? It's got more of like a connected like community.
Connected with people rather than connected with the environment around you. Or is it both?
I think both. I think it's like connected with like the soul of like something. There's like even like the oldest pine tree in Maine has got.
So
like
maybe all living things.
Yeah.
Connected with all living things.
Yeah. And that includes like things that like we can't see. So like spirits or like elements, stuff like that. And that's where like that connection kind of comes in because like one of the breaths in the elemental breathing that I do for Sufism is all about like connection. So like connection both to like all the energy within yourself as well as like all the energy like around you, and realizing that like it's only a small perspective away from being something else entirely. It's kind of a hard thing to like wrap my head around. Like the book is very in-depth and like complicated, not because like it means to be, but just because everything has like so much like importance to it, I guess. But I've been enjoying it. I like the practice.
How did you get the book? Like what gravitated you towards that?
So I was in Goodwill in middle New York, and there's a book that said Awakening on it, and my name Django translates to I awaken. So I was like, that looks interesting. I love learning about like different religions and like integrating belief systems into my life. So I was like, I've never heard of Sufism. Let's give it a try. And then lo and behold, like it's been really eye-opening to me, especially in combination with, I don't think you know this like part of me, but I also like practice shamanism, which is like another like ancient civilization type belief system, I guess. But that also gets played into the meditative class because the drumming side of things is all like shamanistic beliefs. And
like what kind of shamanism is it? Because there are different kinds.
Yeah. Excuse me. It's really hard to like specify like which branch, because like shamanism itself is like one of the oldest like belief systems on the planet, and pretty much most early cultures have like a different name for it, but like the same general belief practices. So I don't know if there's like any specific shamanistic practice that I follow, you know, but more so just like a culmination of like what the person who taught me also via the book
Yeah.
Which
That's what I was going to ask is like, where do you learn about shamanism? Like, I don't see any really advertisements out there for like, come to my next shamanic healing ceremony. I'm not trying to laugh at it, but you know what I mean.
No, I know exactly what you mean. There's like no church down the street.
Yeah, exactly. Shamans worship here.
Yeah, exactly.
So where did you begin, and where did you continue your learning of shamanism and what you believe in today?
So the first like experience, because I had never like heard the word like shaman aside from like Scooby-Doo until I was like actually listening to a different podcast on Spotify about like ghosts and like spirits. And like one of the people who like sent in their first-hand like, account was talking about how they used shamanism and like shamanic journeying to help a spirit basically move on. And I found that really fascinating, the fact that like if you were well versed enough, you can basically help troubled spirits to like find peace. And as like a physical therapist, as well as like someone who just tries to be like a general healer, I found that really fascinating. I was like, I wonder if I could learn this to the extent that I could like, you ever like buy a house, lo and behold, it's haunted. And you're like, how about you find peace as opposed to, you know, like hanging out here. But that was part of the main reason. And then I got a book on it once I realized I like wanted to learn more. And then the book kind of gave me like a rundown of like the beliefs, like very broad strokes. And then basically like how to journey, which is like a whole different thing in and of itself. But it's been cool.
I'm guessing psychedelics is one way.
I think you can use them. I've never like done it in like combination, you know? Like I've never like taken some shrooms and then like tried to journey. It's more so like you can do it if you like practice as well as like if the conditions are right. And so like what I've found is there have been like many times when I've like gone to journey and been like completely sober and like pretty much nothing's happened. Like I just kind of like lay down for 30 minutes and like try and go through my head, try and
just
like
completely sober and just
And I've done it other times when like I've had like vivid like visions of like communicating with like spirit guides, spirit animals, and being able to like have full like conversations.
Like hallucinations?
Not like hallucinations, because it's more like dreaming, I guess.
Okay.
Because like I'm lying down, like eyes closed, and then the way you like get to that like spiritual plane type of deal, state of mind, is basically if you have a drum and it beats at 100 beats per minute.
Wow.
It can, according to the book that I read, I don't know if there's any science behind it, it can like help facilitate you into like a lucid dreaming type state. And then once you're there, it's like simple, relatively simple to like find your spirit guardians, find your spirit animals, and then like talk to them.
It's like easy to navigate.
Yeah. And a lot of it's like self-driven too, which I find really interesting. Like it's never like a journey that you're on that like you're not in charge of. So like the way that I learned it is like basically you like try and pick a point in your life where you feel like calm. So like for me, it's always by the ocean. And then you can either go down, which is like the like lower world, which is where like the spirit animals tend to reside. You can stay on whatever piece of land you're on, which is the middle world, which is where like spirits that are around us reside primarily. Or you can go up, which is the upper world, which is like where spirit like ancestors, spirit guardians reside.
And this is all during this like lucid dreaming. And you can like, do you choose which world you want to be in? Is it just like a flow thing? Like you just feel you're in that world? Like you said, it is very like you're taking charge.
Yeah.
So you are probably choosing.
Yeah, you can pick. So like it's like different for each person too. Because like some people when they want to like go down, imagine there's like a hole in the ground or a cave they can walk into. The way I like to do it is I like to imagine like by a body of water, and then I just like walk in and then like swim down. And then there's like, I'm literally in my mind imagining like a tunnel or like a deep expanse, and I just keep going down, and like basically that's how you get to like the next world. Is like eventually you'll experience a threshold, like a portal, a door, or something or other, and that's when you're able to like pass over to like another world. Like I say that like loose termed, I guess, because like there've been many times when I've just been like trying to go down, like I just keep going down for like 30 minutes. Like I never like find any door or anything. So like it definitely takes practice and like repetition to be able to like do it right. But I've also been able to like do it very easily. So like I'll like imagine myself on the beach at nighttime, and then I'll like look up at the moon, and then basically start flying towards the moon. And then once I get to like the moon's surface, like as you imagine it 2D, I basically just like walk through it, and then I'm in like clouds basically. It's very interesting.
To me, it sounds like your imagination is fucking fantastic.
Right, that's a lot of what it is.
Like, and I'm not saying that what you are experiencing isn't real. It might be in some other way real, but like, I'm someone who, like, I don't experience dreams ever, even just regular dreams.
Wow.
Like, it's not that I don't experience them, because I've read a lot about dreams, and I've read that everyone has dreams. It's just whether or not you can remember it in the morning or not. And I just have an extremely difficult time remembering my dreams, unless it's a nightmare.
Right.
It's the only time that I can ever remember. So, like, even for me to have a dream that would be like that, like, that would definitely be something that I would never forget. Because like I said, like, I don't remember my dreams very often. So to me, like, that just seems like crazy and unattainable. And I just wonder, do you think that anybody can do what you're saying?
I think so.
Experience that.
Yeah. I definitely believe that anyone can do it, but I also think it's one of those things where like you have to believe you can do it type of deal. Like if you go into it being like this isn't gonna work, it's probably not gonna work.
Yeah.
But like if you have that perspective, like I'm gonna go talk to like my spirit animals about like whatever drama has been going on in my life, or like whatever I want advice with, then odds are it'll work. Or at least you'll come away from the experience feeling better than you did like going in. Like whether or not you exactly like see stuff. But like that's one of the things that like they stress in the book, is because like vision is only one of our senses. So like maybe you have a journey that like you only hear things or only like smell or feel things. And it's like still just as significant, but it's not exactly like the vision quest that everyone imagines when they're planning on it. But I also find that the deep breathing practice that I do also helps with like the journeying aspect of it. Because like after that, like the deep breathing, when I do it, I tend to have like visions or like stuff like that anyway.
So it usually starts from that level of just like getting your breath, probably like controlling your breath is probably what you do first. Yeah. So like just inhale, exhale, find your breath. And then that's like part of what the yoga warm up for me is about, is because like people can really focus on their breath without like having any other thoughts going through their head. And then once you like relax, then it gets a lot more like meditative, like kind of guided vision type of deal. It's like part of like the Sufism is the fact that like if we are each a piece of the universe, we have the ability to like determine its outcome type of deal. So like if your perspective on something is that like it's going to work out, odds are to work out, as opposed to like the opposite. So like the same is true anytime it comes to like the breathing. Like you can either get the most out of it, have like perspective that you're going to really like experience a lot of change, or you can go into perspective that like you're just going to be breathing for the next hour, which you'd be doing anyway. So but it's interesting that like line between like what could be and like what will be, depending on like your perspective, I guess. What will be
As in, like, wait, what do you mean by that?
So it's kind of like the future, which is like laid out, can be altered if you have like an alternative like perspective on it. So like if you go into your like Monday, like today's gonna suck, and you start your day off with that idea, then odds are it's not gonna be the best day you ever had in your life.
Yeah.
As opposed to like first day of vacation where you're like, this is about to be incredible. Then you're gonna be feeling that good vibe like the whole day.
Yeah.
So it depends on how we like twist it, I guess, in our own minds.
The mind is a very powerful thing.
Yeah. Very, very. The whole like placebo effect I find fascinating because like people as a PT ask me if like braces work or like collagen pills work. I'm like, if you think they work, they'll work. I'm like, that's all you need to know. Which is, it's nuts.
It's almost scary.
Yeah, really. You can like heal your entire body just through your mind if you believe it enough.
I've heard of a story, I don't remember where I heard it. There was a guy who had terminal cancer, and when he first got the news, he didn't have like very many friends or family or anything, but the only thing that he had was like he loved watching movies, and he had heard from a doctor. Like he asked his doctor, like, what should I do? Like, if I'm gonna die, like, what's the point? And he's like, well, just do anything that makes you happy or makes you sad. And I don't know why the doctor would have said that, but he says that he only watched like movies that made him like laugh, like comedies, and he only watched movies that like made him sad and cry. And they said like a month later, he said like that's literally all he did for like a month after that. And they said that his cancer was literally getting better like a month later.
Wow.
And that was like the only thing that he changed in his like daily routine, because he just said like, fuck it, I'm just going to watch movies. That's all I like to do anyways. You know, I'm not going to go to work or anything. And I don't remember if it cured him, or I don't even remember where I heard this story, to be honest with you. But yeah, the mind, I feel like, is incredibly powerful in ways that we don't even know, you know, like
100%.
And just like thinking is believing. Like that's definitely a mantra or something that I live by.
Sure. Absolutely. Yeah, there's so many things you can like affect in your daily life.
Yeah.
Just given like how you look at it.
Yeah. Like
half my patients have like just the worst days ever because they're so like bummed out or like miserable all the time because they're only focusing on like the bad things as opposed to like, yeah, like you want to be home right now, but like at least you're alive right now. Like, this is an alternative.
The glass is half full or it's half empty, like it always is. Like
exactly,
for sure. You want a refill?
I do actually.
So, I want to know more about your journey into Maine and more about your past.
Okay.
You're born in New York, upstate.
Yep. Adirondack Mountains.
How was family life growing up?
Family life was good. We really just had like the close-knit family. So like my dad, my mom, my sister. Most of my cousins were like spread out. So I have like family in Arizona, family in Utah, family in Kansas, family in Ohio.
Wow, really spread out.
Yeah. So like I didn't really get to spend much time with like my extended family, but like my family in the Adirondacks, they were great. Couldn't ask for better.
That's great.
Yeah, definitely.
What did your parents do?
My mom is a French teacher.
Oh wow.
Yeah, she teaches French at the high school I went to.
It's close to Canada, so you're that's probably the French speaking Canada up there, isn't it? Is it near Ontario?
It's close, yeah.
Kinda? I don't know I don't know East Coast.
I'm trying to think of Ontario. No, I think Ontario is like 2 hours west of me.
So
2 or 3 hours west.
Montreal then?
Montreal, that's about 2 hours north.
That's still pretty close.
Yeah, we would take like French class trips up to Montreal for like a weekend.
That's cool.
Yeah, it was like the best part about like April. Pretty much.
April.
Every year, April, you'd go up and then we would hang out in Montreal for like 2 days one night.
That's fun.
Just,
Like with the class or
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, my mom would take like students up, and we'd be doing like all the like French tourist stuff.
Is she a high school teacher or professor?
Yeah, so high school teacher. She's certified to teach college classes at the high school, so like
Nice.
any AP classes,
Oh,
stuff
cool.
like
Nice.
that. Yeah, actually, the school I grew up in, Bolton, was really weird. So we didn't have like AP classes, but we had like a community college not too far away, and like if the teachers got authorized, then we could get credits.
Nice.
So like I started off college with like 20 something credits.
Hell yeah.
Yeah,
That's nice.
pretty legit.
Save it where you can.
Yeah, exactly.
These days.
Give me some extra time.
Yeah.
But yeah, French teacher.
Cool.
She also teaches Spanish now.
Oh wow. So she's multilingual.
Yeah.
Is she from America? Is she from France?
She's from America.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
She's just really interested in French.
Just loves languages.
That's fair.
Yeah, she's got the mind for it. Like she ended up teaching herself Spanish, like via college classes and stuff. But basically, it's like for job security because they were gonna get rid of the French department. So everyone just wanted to do Spanish.
Damn.
She was like, "I'm tenured. Fuck that.
Yeah.
I'll learn Spanish.
Yeah.
And I'll stay right here."
Damn, that's dedication.
Yeah, right.
That's
I was impressed. But yeah, she does that. My dad is an artist, which is cool.
What
Yeah,
kind of art?
he does like acrylics and oil paint.
Wow. So
Yeah.
he's a painter.
Painter.
That's amazing.
Yeah, he's also very like musically gifted too. Like just growing up to like him playing like guitar riffs, like random shit.
So
Pretty much-
mainly guitar, and
Yeah.
is he playing bands or is he kind of solo?
Like neither. Like mainly solo, but like anytime he like performs, it's like for the family type
Yeah.
of deal, you know?
Maybe he'll jam with people. Maybe.
Yeah. My mom plays bass. My dad plays guitar. There was like a kind of like a band. They were with like a few friends when I was younger. So like some of the earliest memories for me were like growing or like falling asleep on the couch in the basement, listening to like the Beatles, Led Zeppelin.
Nice.
Yeah.
Just
all
like
that.
them playing the Beatles or Led Zeppelin. That's so awesome.
Yeah, it was sick. That's part of the reason why I love She's So Heavy by the Beatles.
That's a great song.
Yeah, it was like one of their favorites to play. One of my favorites to jam out to. But yeah, it's very interesting. So my dad had like he had a very like weird poster of like an orange room with a bunch of like blue fish, like neon orange, neon blue, and that's like I remember falling asleep looking up at it as like they're playing this music. That's probably like one of the first memories I ever had. Yeah.
It's really, really interesting what we do remember, like things that we just like I have like very specific memories of when I was little, and it's not necessarily that they were like significant memories, but like they are significant in our minds.
Yeah.
I guess that's another weird thing about the brain is just like what we choose to keep in long term versus what we could choose to keep short term.
Yeah. Absolutely.
But anyways, fast forward. Okay, how did you pick Daemen College?
So originally I was at Alfred University, which is probably like an hour and a half southeast of Daemen.
And are these all upstate New York colleges?
Kinda. So like Alfred is like central New York, Daemen is western New York. So around there. But yeah, Alfred originally for athletic training, and my sister went there, so it was cool. I got to like spend 2 years in college with her, also in college.
Cool. Your sister is older than you.
Yeah. She's got 2 years on me, so
yeah,
pans out. And then after that, so like 2 years, met my like first girlfriend, first ex there. And then she traveled back to Buffalo where she was from. And I was like, I want to do PT. And like my school didn't offer it. And I was getting really sick of athletic training. So I decided to go up north. And then Daemen was actually the first school that I like ended up interviewing at.
Mm.
And the lady was like, when do you want to like start, basically?
Oh wow.
Yeah, so it was really nice, like the first ever experience talking to any like the recruiters, and they're just like, come up whenever you can.
Cool.
Yeah.
Is that pretty close to home at around?
It's like 5 hours.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So probably a little bit further.
Yeah, it's not bad. I feel like 5 hours for me is like the perfect like road trip distance.
Yeah, it is a good road trip distance, definitely.
Yeah. You can do 5 hours in a day, and it's like, all right. So most of your day left. But,
okay.
Yeah.
Okay, and then so you graduated. What year did you graduate?
From Daemen?
Daemen, yeah.
2021.
Fresh grad.
Yeah.
I didn't know you were that fresh.
Yeah.
All right.
It's only been a year and a few months.
Wow. All right. So then, how did you get the job that you're currently in?
So I was working as a PT out in Buffalo for like a little bit less than a year. And then I decided I wanted to travel because I never knew like travel PT was like really an option to like my last year in grad school. And then I learned like just how incredible it is because you can basically go wherever you want to in the state. And then as long as you're okay, just kind of like doing your own thing or have like a travel buddy, which my cat is my travel buddy, so it works out.
Nice.
Yeah. But either way, I picked Maine because it was like somewhere that I've been to, so like I roughly knew about it, but I haven't explored like all of it, obviously, because we'd always go to the same place up north. My family and I would go camping there for a week at a time. Yeah.
Where up north?
Like Machias or Millbridge.
Oh,
yeah.
Northern Maine. The farthest up I've been is probably like, Bangor, definitely. Rockland, like, is that further up than Bangor? I don't even know.
Rockland's cool.
Rockland's nice, yeah. But so I don't know anything north of those, and that's like mid coast. Like,
yeah. I don't even think you've gotten to Acadia at that point.
No, I haven't. I haven't been to Acadia yet. I know. I wanted to hit it this summer, but it's packed. Like, there's good luck getting any reservation that's more than a night on a like Tuesday.
Right.
But yeah, no, definitely I want to try and hit it next year.
Yeah, for sure. It's nice. It's really nice.
Yeah.
Especially if you and EB start doing like the car camping.
I know, for sure. But okay, so that's why you picked Maine.
Yeah.
Okay. And have you enjoyed it so far?
I've been loving it.
Yeah.
It's been nice.
You extended your stay.
Yeah, I've always wanted to experience like the fall in Maine.
Oh yeah.
It's like I love fall in the Adirondacks.
Yeah.
So like, how could it get better? Add an ocean.
Yeah.
Type of deal. But no, I extended it till fall, and part of that is like also kind of related to like the people that I met and like just I've been enjoying everything so much. Like, why would I want to leave right now?
Yeah. No, I feel that.
But yeah, I can't wait. I get another 3 months.
Nice.
Which would be sick.
Yeah, I was here last fall and it was very beautiful. And like, Pacific Northwest is where I'm from and I love it there. It is beautiful as well. You should definitely visit if you ever get the chance. But honestly, the fall here is just like so much more like the trees, like the trees in the summer in the Pacific Northwest, I would say are better because there's so many different kinds. But then like there's not a lot of time between winter and summer, if that makes sense. Like there's not a lot of fall in Oregon or in the Pacific Northwest. It shifts quickly. Like the leaves are yellow for maybe like a month or less and then they just fall. But here you get like different seasons within the season. Like you get like an orange and a yellow and then like a nice brown. Like I would definitely recommend the drive between Old Orchard and just like the highway on the Scarborough. That kind of highway where there's like the tunnel of trees.
Yeah.
Best fucking drive
really?
In the fall. Oh, 100%. It's so good. And I'm sure there's plenty of other good drives. But I had to drive that like almost every day when I was driving Portland here, and I would always love that.
It sounds incredible. Yeah, any type of like tree change, especially like summer to fall to winter. It's like such a nice transition.
It's a great transition, especially summer to winter. I like way more than winter to summer.
Spring. Winter, summer sucks.
Yeah.
Everyone says spring's your favorite season of the moon.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, maybe like the last week of spring. Like, how can the whole season be your favorite if there's only like one good week of it?
True.
You know?
Yeah.
Especially because, like, maybe I'm biased because, like, my spring has always been like the Adirondacks or Buffalo, which is like basically guaranteed snow up until
you
like
guys get snow so late over here.
Nonsense. Yeah,
it's like in the you're late March, you're still snowing. Like that's crazy to me. Like Pacific Northwest, you'll never get snow past like February.
And I wish.
Yeah.
It snowed in April last year when I was in Buffalo, or earlier this year when I was in Buffalo. So. And then it came out here and it was still freezing cold in May.
Yeah, it was freezing cold. I remember that. Like it was weird. Like the season changed. That season changed quickly from when it was spring when it was like winter. Like it kind of instantly changed to like cold to hot. Like it was weird. Like I remember the first day that I could like not wear a sweatshirt and pants. And it was just like, whoa, like this is weird. Like literally it was snowing last week. Like what the hell? Like
it's nuts. It's nuts, honestly. Like I don't really know what to make of it.
Yeah.
Recently.
It's very different than the Pacific Northwest.
Pacific
Northwest, it's literally just like rain, maybe 1 week of snow in January, February, like 1 week each, and then rain, and then hot as balls.
Really?
Like, in July, August, like even September into these days. I mean, just the fires is like, it's the California fires, they're creeping up the coast. Like, it's getting bad.
Yeah, that's real
bad. Anyways, so you've enjoyed your time here in Maine. You've enjoyed the people.
Yeah. Although most of the people that I've become friends with aren't even from Maine, so.
Yeah, that's true.
What it says about it. Not diving too deep.
What do you think that like is about? Do you like Mainers?
I like Mainers, yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like I don't have a lot of experience with them. So like I have I think 2 friends that like I could officially consider to be like Mainers.
Your friend Isaac?
Yeah, Isaac, and then Lucinda, who like she moved up here when she was 2. So like
that counts.
Counts, yeah.
Yeah.
You don't remember much before you were 2.
No. I don't remember anything before.
Except for maybe falling asleep while the Beatles were playing.
Yeah, there you go. That's
probably,
you, yeah.
That's probably it. But no, I mean, so far so good. I have like no real complaints. I know the drivers here are interesting.
Dude, yeah, what is it about the drivers here? It's like, I swear, it's every like 5 to 10 cars. You'll just have someone in front of you and you'll just be like, what the fuck are you doing? Like,
pretty much, yeah.
They'll literally just be like stopped in the middle of the road for no reason. And you're just like, what?
Yeah.
Like,
and then you like come to find out that they were stopped in the middle of the road so that like someone could turn left.
Yeah, that's usually what it is. That's usually, it's like they're being too nice.
Yes,
it is.
People in Maine are genuinely too nice when they drive. Because like that happened to me the other day. I was at like a yield sign. Someone was on a road that kept going straight, and there's another road obviously kept going straight. This person like came to a full stop with like 3 cars behind them to let me get out in front of them. I was like, I know what I'm supposed to do here.
Yeah,
I need you to keep doing
literally
what you're supposed to do here.
Oh my god! I honestly attribute it to 2 things. It's really close to Canada. Canadians are just overly nice. You know who I'm talking about. And oldest state in the United States.
Is it?
Yeah.
I did not know that.
By far. Vacation land is a thing.
Oh, I see what you mean.
Yeah.
Like,
oldest population. No. Definitely not that. Oldest population.
Yeah, for sure. Especially because like you have all these people out here like crawling along. I swear to God, it makes sense why, especially oldest population, because you get up to like a 4-way stop, And like, I swear to God, everyone's memory of how to drive is like seconds before the stop. And then I've been in like so many four-way stops where like I show up last and everyone's like
I know,
waving each other on.
Yeah.
I'm like, you need to keep track of your own time.
Literally. No, I feel that.
Yeah, but I mean that makes a lot of sense. Yeah, I never realized like the snowbird aspect of it because like there's so many houses up here that are just vacant for most of the year.
For most of the dude. I mean, you'll see it kind of in November. It like, especially Old Orchard, it is night and day. I couldn't believe my eyes when I went to Old Orchard like 2 weeks ago because I lived in Old Orchard when I first got here in like October. And even in October, it wasn't, I mean, there was people there, but when you get to November, it's a ghost town.
Really?
Oh, yeah. There's not a single, like, you have the whole beach to yourself.
Wow.
No doubt. Like,
that's sick.
But
yeah, I believe it. Especially like just the amount of tourists. And like I grew up in like a tourist town, so like I get it. Like there's just gonna be some times when you're not gonna want to drive through town.
Yeah.
And that's just how it is.
For
but
sure.
At the same time, I feel like it's so much more like consistent here, I guess. Like I never noticed it when I was back home. How like on a Wednesday night, like the entirety of Old Orchard Beach can just be like packed, which is unreal. I was like, who's coming out on like a Wednesday? Then again, people vacation.
People on vacation. That's
makes sense.
Literally.
But then again, like I'm getting off from work and I'm like, why are you in the middle of the road?
Right? Literally. Now you know how people who like live in like actual vacation destinations like Maui or I don't even know, Vegas feel on a daily basis. Like
I believe it. I could not imagine living in Vegas.
Yeah.
Maui would be cool.
Yeah.
But for like different reasons, I guess.
I honestly see you living in Hawaii. Have you ever been?
No, I haven't.
Dude, you gotta go to Island Time.
Yeah?
I feel like it's your kind of place.
Yeah.
Everything is just much more relaxed. And
that's what I like.
It's really just laid back. Like Island Time is a real thing. Like most places don't open until like 10, 10:30, whenever they feel like. And it's really just like, it's usually because people are surfing in the mornings because that's when the best waves are.
Oh, yeah.
And it just, I don't know, I just feel your vibe there for sure.
Yeah, I definitely want to go. I'd honestly love to do like a travel rotation in Hawaii, which would be incredible, but also very expensive. So I feel like that's one of the ones where like I won't do a solo. Just because like at that point I've had people like travelers tell me like if you want to go to Hawaii that's great, but just don't expect to like save any money.
Oh shit.
Apparently.
Yeah.
I mean I get it. Like even cost of living here is crazy. Can you imagine having to ship your body soap across an ocean to get it to you?
Yeah.
It makes sense. But,
so you could, if you wanted, go there with your traveling. Oh wow.
I've had people tell me to go to Alaska. Like patients tell me that like Alaska's gorgeous.
Yeah, I've heard Alaska's gorgeous too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would do it. During the summer only though. I don't think I'd be up there for the winter.
I couldn't imagine being 20 hours. It basically looked like this for 20 hours a day.
Right?
It'd be depressing.
It'd be very depressing. Yeah. It's too much. Too much downtime.
For sure. Anyways, I want to switch topics.
Yeah. Send it.
I'd be remiss if I didn't ask you, what do you think happens after we die?
Okay. It's a good question. I feel like so long as you haven't lost your connection to the source, you just return to the source. So like you just return to the universe, like to heaven, I suppose, where like family, friends, people you've like met in like past lives, like all the connections you've had. For anyone who isn't like currently in the game, so like this is the game. You know what I mean?
The game.
Yeah. So
life.
Yeah. So like the way I imagine it, and like this is speculation only, but I imagine like you're just chilling up in heaven. You're like vibing, enjoying it. And then at some point, if you ever get like bored, you can basically be like, I want to take another crack at it.
Mm.
And then they basically put your soul into like a baby.
Mm.
And you basically just restart the whole process without knowing anything at all.
Mm.
Or there's the Hindu belief where like you're reborn at like a level above so long as like you did well. So like you go from being like a mosquito to like a moth or something.
Mm.
And then, like I mentioned, like as long as you don't like lose your connection to the source, like as long as you don't like do anything too severe.
Well, okay, so that's what I was wondering with the first one. So you said you go up to heaven and then you can just chill up there until you want to come back.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that anybody gets to go and do that kind of style? Like, you think Hitler is up there right now? Like,
yeah.
And then he's just going to be like, I want to go back.
Right.
You know what I mean?
See the problem.
I'm just wondering. I mean, it may be, but like...
Well, I feel like Hitler definitely fucked up his chances to get back to it, you know? Like, I feel like there's certain things, like, just, like, shouldn't do. Because, like, otherwise, at that point, you've, like, tarnished your soul so much, but, like, you're not...
So do you think people like that go to a sort of, like, hell, purgatory kind of place?
It's a good question. I've honestly never... Like, obviously,
thought about it.
Yeah, well, I've thought about it because, like, I've heard like people's after like near-death experiences, where like some people like experience like an out of body, or like they're surrounded by like family and friends and like a white whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And I've heard the alternative is like people after like dying, basically being suspended in darkness with like no ability to tell time, no light around them, no sound, nothing. And I feel like that would be terrible. So like obviously that's like a punishment.
Yeah.
I feel like after enough time being punished though, like there's no reason why like shouldn't be like shuffled back in. At least that's my opinion, but I'm also the kind of person to like forgive and forget type of deal for like most things. But I don't know, after long enough, I imagine everyone regrets things that they've done. But it's an interesting question. What do you think?
What do I think happens after we die?
Yeah.
I honestly don't know. And I honestly don't think that it is possible for us to comprehend. I don't think it's possible to comprehend what the meaning of life is or what the meaning of death is.
Yeah.
I think it's just kind of like we'll figure it out when we get there. But like I really don't. It's hard because I've never really had an opinion on it. I've grown up in a Christian household my entire life. So of course my own bias and like my soul, I guess, maybe wants to gravitate towards the Christian belief. And I want to believe that there is a God in heaven and hell, and you do good things and good things will happen. You'll go to heaven, you know, which is a good way, I feel like, to live life. But do I really believe that it's exactly as clear cut as the Christians believe? No.
Yeah.
Like, there's got to be something that they're not getting.
Oh, for sure.
If there's this many different religions, that's kind of how I think of it. There are so many religions out there. Like, I don't think that there's any way one of them is even right. I honestly don't think that any of them is right. So it's hard for me to even conceive of what it could be. But, like, if I had to gravitate towards one, I do believe in a God. I think there is God out there. I think something created this. But I don't necessarily think it's like the Christian God. I don't necessarily believe it's just one God.
Yeah, I got you.
That's kind of, there's no real belief for it. I don't know even what you would call it, to be honest with you. I've never found really like a name or term for it.
Yeah. I feel like it's just like a healthy understanding that we don't know what the fuck's going on.
Yeah,
you know?
right.
It's like, anyone that tells you that they know what's going to happen to you after you die is lying to you.
That's what I've always felt like.
Yeah.
Anybody
No one
that
knows.
tells you, yeah. And it's really weird for me to hear people like read a book and then just like give their absolute faith to what is in that book and what a person in front of them is telling them by reading that book. To me, it's never really made sense like that. Like, I don't know how that could be possible.
Yeah.
But like I said, my family has been devout Christians. My grandparents are the most Christian people that I know. And like, you know, so it's hard for me not to be like biased towards that way of belief, but it's hard for me also to just believe like they do.
Yeah. I mean, I get that for sure. Especially because, like, organized religion is so, like, tricky. Because, like, I feel like a lot of it is just attendance card for, like, a lot of people.
Yeah.
Like, I showed up
Yeah.
every Sunday this month,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
doing good.
100%.
As opposed to, like, genuinely being a good person, like, genuinely wanting to give back to people because you think it's the right thing to do. Like, I think there's a big difference. I don't think anyone's, like, wrong for doing whatever they're doing.
For
Like,
sure.
I've always been under the impression, like, do whatever makes you happy, as long as it doesn't, like, hurt anyone. And, like, who am I to say you're wrong? But I also kind of found it very interesting from, like, an early age. It's basically just, like, how not to be an asshole to someone rule book.
Yeah.
And, like, some people genuinely need a rule book to tell them
Literally.
how not to be an asshole.
Yeah.
And, like, that to me is so nuts because, like, isn't it intuitive?
You would think.
Yeah.
But I think, again, the human brain is a crazy thing. And, like, not everyone thinks the same way that you and I do. All right, on a different note,
Switch it up.
how do I phrase this? Do you believe in true love? Do you think that there is a single person out there for you or for anyone?
It's a good question. I'd say maybe. Like, I feel like there's definitely people that I have, like, gravitated towards because they've, like, fit, in my mind, like, the mold of, like, what I want, like, true love to be. But in terms of, like, one person being, like, the one person, I feel like it's a bit hard to, like, quantify. One, because there's, like, almost 8 billion people, so, like, good fucking luck.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I also feel like it's what you're looking for in a relationship and, like, what you're willing to, like, compromise in a relationship. There's definitely, like, certain things that, like, I need out of, like, a person that I'm gonna be, like, dating. And, like, I won't really know that, like, that love at first sight type of deal. Like, I'm not gonna know if you're gonna, like, be able to give me, like, the love that I want right from, like, looking at you, you know what I mean?
Of course.
So, like, that love at first sight, I think there's, like, attraction at first sight and, like,
Yeah.
interest at first sight.
Yeah.
But, like, love, true love, right away, I don't think so.
But do you think that, like, you could meet someone and over time they could be the one?
I think so, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
But I also think that, like, the one is, like, compromise. You know what I mean? Because, like, you can't expect one person to be, like, perfect for you without ever having them do anything that's, like, not perfect for you.
Everyone has their faults.
Yeah, exactly. And, like, people aren't going to know what you want or need until, like, you tell them. So, like, if you meet someone that, like, you think is the one and they, like, do something that upsets you, you can't be like, oh, you're no longer the one. You know what I mean? That doesn't make them not the one. It just means that, like, they're gonna have to try for it. And I've always been very, like, picky when it comes to, like, relationships, though. So, like, I won't just, like, jump in with someone, like, random just because it's, like, convenient. Like, I need to know that, like, there's, like, a deeper level there before proceeding. But yeah, as far as like the one, I'd say maybe. Final answer maybe.
So maybe. Yeah, of course, I believe that there's never going to be someone that checks every single box and has no flaws, but I do believe that there is people that you can at least get along with for your life, and not necessarily get along with. That's not the right way of saying it. More like what is it? I know I'm not saying this correctly, but like people who you can look past the flaws.
Yeah.
And so I do believe definitely that there is somebody out there. And it doesn't necessarily even mean to be one person, like, because obviously everybody's perspective is different. So who you might think is your true love, that true love may not think you as their true love.
Yeah.
So I do think also that even if that true love who you think is your true love does not think that you are their true love, I think there would be someone else out there. Like you said, there's 8 billion people in the world.
Yeah.
There's no way you can't find someone.
I think it's so interesting that like our relationships form, because like the first relationship I had was like a girl from college. Second relationship I had was like a girl from a different college. And now like the closest I've got to is like a girl from Maine. And like it's really interesting to me to like, did I have to travel to Maine to like meet this person? Like would someone else have opened up if I was still back in Buffalo? And I think it's also interesting, like a friend explained this, and like she and I have like a pretty strong connection, and she was saying that the way that her psychic explained it was that basically you have like what's called soul champions, not exactly like soul mates, but like people that we've like had connections with like in previous lives or like previous experiences, and we like stumble upon each other, and like whether or not it works out or doesn't work out, but like just having known that like that was there at one point. I think that's similar to like true love, because like the person's always like someone that like you have loved and like will love, but it's not exactly like the person that you're always meant to be with. You know what I mean? I think that's the hard part, is like just the whole settling down and like picking just one person to like marry for the rest of your life. Like that shit's mind blowing to me. Like that's you have so much confidence.
It's kind of the biggest commitment you can ever make in your entire life.
Yeah, pretty much. Unless you're trying to pull a Church of England and basically just make divorce okay, in which case.
Yeah, maybe. Well, okay, so maybe the only other commitment would be having a kid. I guess that's also
oh man,
one of the biggest commitments. But,
right. Yeah, I mean that's a hard one. No, I feel like for me personally, the person that like I'm married is gonna be like the person I'm with for like the rest of my life. Like highs, low, doesn't matter. Like what happens. So like at that point, like it makes my like pickiness towards like people I'm like even willing to like just date like that much more substantial. Because I'm like also not the person to like just date someone just to like have something to do on a Wednesday, you know what I mean? Yeah. So like if we're gonna be dating, then like there's some expectation this will last more than just like a few days. For sure. But I mean, does that mean that I want to like spend the rest of my life with them? I don't know. To be decided, I guess. Yeah. Okay. It's an interesting question though.
All right. And last question before we end this wonderful journey.
Yes.
To you, what is the meaning of life?
I would say the meaning of life to me is growth. Just being, I'd say positive growth, I guess, as like an addendum. Because like there's definitely like negative growth, but like trying to improve yourself at least a little bit every single day. And like for a few years now, I've like struggled with like New Year's resolutions. They're always like so specific. I'll have like $10,000 in the bank by like February or some shit. And like something I realized last year is that like we're a lot happier when our goals are a lot more broad because they're a lot more achievable. So like instead of going out to like a bar and being like I'm gonna meet my soulmate, you're like I'm just gonna have a good beer, hang out with friends. And same for the goals. Like instead of trying to accomplish all my dreams by like January, I basically just want to improve myself every day, either body, mind, or soul. So like whether that's like a 15-minute walk at lunchtime, or like I'm eating a salad, or like meditating, whatever you want to do. So for me, the meaning of life that like I try and live by is just positive growth, just being better as best as I can. Also not hurting people. But that's a personal one, so I don't know.
Fair.
Yeah. How about you? I'm curious.
Oh, what do I think the meaning of life is?
Yeah.
I think there are multiple things. I think finding someone you love, finding something to do, and find pursuit of happiness. I think those are the three most important things, honestly. You may not ever achieve any of the three. You may achieve all three. But I think it's important for anyone who wants to live for tomorrow to live for tomorrow, you know?
Yes, sir.
Of course, also live every day like it's your last, but like you should, how do I explain it? Live as if like today is going to be the best day of your life, because today is the best day of your life.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's basically it.
Right on. This has been the best day of my life. I appreciate you.
Hell yeah. Nice. Thanks for having me. Anything else you want to say to the people of the world?
Just be good.
Be good.
Be good. Just be good. Very good.
Just be good.
Just be good. Don't be bad.
And now, here's a quote. It is vain to do with more what could be done with less. William of Ockham. Thank you for listening, and see you next time.